In my last video, we went and hunted for lakes deep in the woods of North Carolina. But today, we are heading to a haunted forest late at night, where locals have talked about seeing spirits and having overwhelming sensations of feeling watched when out in the forest at night. Is it all true? Well, we're gonna find out, and I'm also going to be revealing how I am perhaps partially responsible for why these woods are so haunted. So get comfy because we are going on another adventure.
Just got out of Walmart, everybody. Had to go and buy myself a flashlight and a headlamp. Originally, I was planning on filming this video during the day, but it has gotten a little bit late. You know, haunted forest, walking around at night, kind of fits to the theme. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. Right now, the sun is setting pretty good, and I'm currently driving past Kannapolis, North Carolina, and that's about 45 minutes north of where I'm going. So it's gonna be pretty dark out there by the time we get there. So I think we're in for a really fun adventure, and let's have a good time. This camera is really struggling, so we're gonna go test these. Lights. Welcome everybody to Purser-Hulsey Park in Matthews, North Carolina. As you can see, we're off to a very good start on this big, scary woods walk thing. All right, let's go. Well, we just started the hike, everybody, and you can see that this flashlight is working absolutely incredible. I think this is like 3,200 lumens, something like that. And I mean, oh my goodness, like I can see everything perfectly. So this is actually really cool. And then, of course, if at any point I need to, I have this little headlamp right here that I can turn on as sort of like an emergency light if this one goes out. You can see this area of the woods is really cool. Like, look how overgrown it is with all these like vines and stuff. Like, dude, anything could be hidden in the woods here. Like, oh! No, I'm just kidding, there's nothing over there. Oh, there was a bat up there though. You guys can probably hear a lot of fireworks in the distance. That's because tomorrow is 4th of July. And so people are celebrating a little bit early by shooting off fireworks. So a little bit of history of this place. Originally, before Purser-Hulsey Park, this just used to be a big patch of woods. Back in the day, I actually used to go out here a lot. Like, I'd go hiking out here, I would camp out here sometimes, even though I technically wasn't supposed to be camping out here. Oh, look at this. Look at that spider. Isn't that cool? Oh, wow, look at that. There's a big cricket right there. He like leaped out from under that leaf right there, and the whole leaf moved. And I thought that was like a giant frog or something. I was like, what the heck? Genuinely made me jump. I was like, that's a huge frog. Anyway, when they did say they were gonna build like a trail out here, admittingly, like me and my friends, we weren't exactly too excited about it. But ever since they built it, I mean, this is actually one of like the most popular mountain biking trails like in Charlotte, North Carolina, because it genuinely is a lot of fun, and it's really nice to hike at night. Actually, if you guys watched some of my very early content over on my main Nixxiom channel, like 5 minutes in, The Long Dark, I think it was called, and maybe a few other videos, I'm not sure, but I actually recorded those videos right here in these woods in some of the abandoned buildings that are here. Now, don't get your hopes up, we're not gonna be going to any abandoned buildings today because that's pretty far out there, and I do gotta get home to take care of my wife and kid eventually, but maybe next time I'll take you out to like the abandoned buildings and give you guys a little tour. Eventually though, they did start building like the trail here, and I remember the first year that they were building this trail when it was just kind of outlined with just some very basic little trail markers. We had this really huge ice storm here in North Carolina, and me and my friend Ben, we had the genius idea of going out here at like 3 o'clock in the morning and riding the completely unfinished trail on our mountain bikes while it was covered in like 3 inches of ice. It most certainly wasn't the smartest idea, but damn, it was a ton of fun. And here's some old photographs of that very night. It's actually a very fond memory of mine. Oh wow, look at that guy. Oh, look at that huge centipede thing, millipede, whatever it's called. Like, I could put my hand there for reference. Guy's big. We're just gonna leave him alone. There's like a huge spider web right here. That's exactly where I need to cross. Let's go over here. I don't really want to cross in this brush right here because it's very likely there's a lot of poison ivy. Now, ever since they finished this trail, I have mountain biked it multiple times. Me and my friends come out here to go hiking all the time. And even though I don't live in this general area anymore, I'm like maybe an hour to an hour and a half north of here, I still like to come down here and come to this park every now and then, just because I enjoy being out here so much. I have a lot of very fond memories of these woods. However, of course, as soon as they finished this damn trail, suddenly all the folklore began. Suddenly, lots of talk of spirits and other things being out here, and, you know, people seeing things, watching them in the darkness. Oh boy, you know, there was plenty of it. It became this whole thing of people just kind of being freaked out at the idea of coming out here at night, especially because of the fact that I have heard it said people have seen people doing witchcraft out here late at night. You know, people coming out here in their little witch covens and, you know, doing magic and stuff like that. And it's really no surprise why people would say this, especially considering what I'm gonna show you here very soon that exists out in these woods. And I think when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh yes, I understand now why this folklore exists. But before I do show you what I'm talking about, I would like to say that back in the day, one of the things that me and my friends would do is we would come out into these woods all the time, usually every Saturday night, and we would do a campfire night out here. This is back when the trail was like very early in its construction, and even before its construction, we would come out here, go pretty deep out into the woods, and we'd set up a fire, sit out there, we'd sing songs, tell stories, smoke cigars. And so again, like, these woods have a very special place in my heart. It's one reason why walking out here isn't really that intimidating for me at night, I suppose. Oh, look at that big moth right there. Very pretty. But also because, well, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that maybe I had something to do with the spooky folklore that exists around these woods. I think we're close enough to the location that I can kind of explain. So here it is, the Enchanted Forest, everybody. The heck is that? Big old red rock. Yeah, you can see there's a sign right there for the Enchanted Forest. There's that one right there. So what is up with the Enchanted Forest? Well, let's head out here and I'll explain. Many of you watching this video probably don't believe in things like nature spirits and elves and dwarves and fairies and leprechauns and things like that. However, there are a lot of people around the world that do, and there are occasionally places that you can find out in the woods, or just like kind of just natural areas away from like too much human touch, that is said to be like a hot spot of these sorts of spirits. And before this trail was made, before, you know, these woods were kind of cleared out and people would walk through here all the time, these woods were actually considered one of these hot spots. Specifically this area right here that we are walking into. Normally there would be this huge wall of green that stops you from going into this part of the woods, and you're sort of just limited to this area out here. However, sometimes if you got lucky and if the growth allowed you, you were able to pass through this area before the trail was made, and you were able to go to the woods that lie beyond. Usually people that believe in this sort of stuff, they would come out here and they would, you know, do rituals to the land, offer gifts, you know, talk to the spirits. And I think when you see these woods, you'll realize why it's called the Enchanted Forest, and why people felt that this was an area of kind of nature spirit activity. This is it. This is the Enchanted Forest right here, everybody. I don't know how well the microphone's gonna pick up on it, but like out there, you can hear so many insects, so many frogs, so many things. But the moment that you come out here, it just all dies out. Like, you notice like how quiet it gets out here in comparison. Like, there's still a few small insects here and there, but just this area with its scattered pine trees I found it so fascinating when they built this trail that they called this area the Enchanted Forest, just because of everything that was done here. You can actually see the moon shining through there, and just look at that, man. Isn't that beautiful? I love this area of the woods, especially all these moths that are flying around me. They're so fascinated by this flashlight. But this area isn't special just because it's a bunch of, scattered pine trees. There's also a lot of things that have been built out here that either is going to give you guys the creeps, or you guys are going to be like, holy crap, that is so cool. And one of them is actually coming up right now. Hopefully the camera is going to pick this up good, but oh yeah, look at that. You see it yet? In this area of the woods, when people have come out here, like they've been building these like wooden structures out of the fallen trees for so long now. And like you can see, there's another one right over here. The biggest one, oh, there's one right there too. The biggest one was actually built in this direction, and it stood for a very, very long time. And I know that you guys are scratching your heads right now, and you're like, okay, hold on a second, Nixxiom. Like, you're talking about, like, there are these crazy structures built out in the woods and spirits and shit. Like, how the heck do you know all this? Well, let me explain. First of all, like, yeah, there's one over there. And then, yeah, there's the big one. Yeah, this one. It's actually been a long time since I've been here. This thing used to be completely collapsed. Like, it was just completely on the ground, but it looks like people have been rebuilding it lately. That's really cool. That's actually really, really cool. Oh, wait, or maybe this was it. Oh, wait. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so that was the original one, and it looks like they started building a new one right next to it. Interesting. Yeah, see, you can see this one was legit, fellas. Like, it was huge. It had like 3 rooms inside of it. People would camp out here. You can see a little one right there. People would camp out here, and like this area actually right here, this building, this structure, this original one was actually the main structure where like a lot of like, people that practice like Wicca and witches and stuff would actually perform a lot of witchcraft right here. Okay, so I know I'm kind of like, jerking you guys around a little bit. Like, how do I know this stuff? Well, remember when I said that like maybe I'm kind of one of the reasons why this place is considered haunted? Well, that's because a long time ago, like when people would talk about seeing people doing like rituals and other crazy things out in this section of the woods, I was actually present at some of these things. Not actually as like a magical practitioner. I don't really believe in men doing magic. It's a whole thing, but it's like a sign of neefinghood if a guy does magic. But anyway, but I was like an observer from afar. And there's even a number of spells, I guess, if we want to use that word, that I participated in or was given. The long and short of it, fellas, is I dated a witch for a while, okay? And she told me a lot of things about magic, and I got exposed to a lot of crazy stuff and a lot of like, crazy witchcraft coven things. And oh wow, look at this, dude. You guys are gonna love this. Speaking of spooky things, dude, look at that, dude. That pair of antlers just up there in the tree. Oh, isn't that so, right next to this thing? That's so cool, man. So freaking cool. But anyway, so yeah, I dated a witch for a while, so I got exposed to like a lot of crazy stuff. And I was even given like some spells occasionally, well, 2 spells specifically, but it was like a spell that I was given, and I was told like that, oh, this thing would last for a certain amount of time, this gift, and then you had to then go and bury the spell, like the gift thing, at the location where the spell was created. Look at that spider right there. That's so cool. Anyway, there's actually a lot of spells that are like buried out in this part of the woods, like just a lot of a lot of bottles and things and trinkets and stuff. Stuff used to be hung from like these trees here. You don't usually think that sort of stuff happens here. Oh, I just heard an owl. Oh wow, dude, we are blessed, man. Dude, I love hearing owls. Always a good omen. The point is, this is just a place of like really intense spiritual activity. So lots of like offering tables were out here back in the day, and of course all that stuff got knocked down over time. I mean, look at this stuff, man. People have been going crazy with building these things. But anyway, we have been hiking for a little while now, fellas, but I'm probably gonna wrap it up here and start driving home, because I got like an hour drive, and go see my wife and my kid. Hopefully you enjoyed this little night hike, this little adventure out into these haunted woods, allegedly. I would say that if you do come out here at night and you sit very still and very respectfully, you know, you never know what you might find hiding out here. Maybe next time what I'll do is I'll take you guys out here like during the daytime, really show you guys what all this looks like, you know, when the camera isn't struggling so much. And one of my future videos that I'd like to do is there's a location up near Greensboro, North Carolina, that is apparently one of the most haunted locations in all of North Carolina. And your boy Nixxiom really wants to go visit it. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna take you guys on that trip right here on Nixxiom IRL. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all with my next video.